Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I have a very special guest in our video, which is the Pat McGrath Divine Rose palette. I lent this so I could do a little video on it, maybe also do a 3 looks 1 palette video. And then I also bought the Sublime Perfection Concealer from Pat McGrath as well. So that's what we're going to try out in today's video. I'm going to do a full face, so let's get started. So let me put on some ears. As usual, I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Eye Primer. I thought I'd use one I'm familiar with. And I actually have a little date in a little bit. So I'm starting with my eyes to make sure I don't have a lot of fallout on my cheeks. I'm going to town, to the city with my mom. It's been a very long time since we went shopping because everything's been closed here, but now you can make little appointments for 2 people. So we're going to visit 3 shops. We're going to the bookshop, we're going to a jewelry for her, and then we're going to my favorite makeup store. So that's exciting. So of course you've all seen this beautiful packaging. And then it opens up. And, oh. This is what the palette looks like. And these are the shades. So I think Divine Rose is the most casual one of the Pat McGrath palettes. I'm actually expecting Divine Rose 2 when I finish my thesis in a little bit, in a couple of months. But for now, let's play with this one. I think I'm going to start very basically with this shade over here. Oh wait, there are shade names. There are shade names. Valoria. Oh, this is so exciting. Yes, nice and pigmented as expected. Let's see how they blend out. Yes, that goes very well. So I've heard that the trick with these eyeshadows is to not put too much on your eyes at once, so it can properly blend out. I mean, I'm not being especially careful, but I still think it works out very well. Especially on this side, I think it's very nice and even. Oh, this is so nice. I'm just going to do the top half, so I can properly blend the concealer later. Okay, let's deepen it up with this shade, which is Extreme Mahogany. And I'm of course going to put this in the outer corner. And also put it a little bit in the crease, I think. So I watched Erin Nichols TV's video when this palette, when she bought this palette. She did a 6 looks 1 palette video, 3 day looks transitioning into night looks. And every time she used the Extreme Mahogany shade only for the night look. But I kind of like a dramatic day look as well. I don't really care. Even if it is 9:10 in the morning. Oh, these shadows are so pretty. They blend out so nicely into each other. And the colors are so nice. I'm so happy I got to try this. It's actually been a difficult brand to obtain in the Netherlands because you had to order it from the Pat McGrath site. And the order I made for my birthday in December, I think, hasn't even arrived yet. But now it's also sold at Douglas for those of you who are in my area. They don't have everything, but I do think they have this palette. Okay, that went very fast and easy. Let's add some shimmer. I'm first going to try picking them up with a brush. I know that's not the ideal way to do it, but I want to see what they can do. So I'm going into Lovelace, which is this shade over here, and I'm going to put that on the outer lid. I'm really going to pack it on the brush. Oh, I think that actually works out fine. It does create a little bit of fallout, but that's why we did the eyes first. See, I like using a brush more because you get more precision. Oh, that's very nice. Okay, the fallout is pretty intense, but the eyeshadow is as well, so that's okay. Now with the other side of the brush, I think I'm going into Skin Show Nude, which is this shade over here. And I'm going to put that on the inner part of the lid and in the inner corner. I'm sort of dragging it on top of the other shade. And then finally, I can't help myself, I have to use one of these special shades. So I think I'm going into Astral Solstice, which is this glittery shade over here. And I'm going with my finger. And I'm going to put that on top of the white shade we just used. Wow! Okay, I get it. I get why these are so popular. This is so cool. This is so pretty. I totally get it now. Okay, I'm going to remove the fallout and then let's continue with the rest of the face. So I cleaned up the fallout. And look at this. Isn't that pretty? Okay, for the face I think we're going to use mostly Guerlain, because I have a new foundation from them, which I've only used a couple of times now, which is the new Guerlain L'essentiel. And I think it would be okay to use the L'or Radiance Primer with this one, because this is a very gripping primer. This really gets very tacky. And I think that's great because I'm going to have to wear a mask in all the shops I'm going to in a little bit. So that'd be great. And this smells so lovely. It's a very florally scent. I like it. And it also gives a little bit of radiance. That's its main claim, that it gives radiance, but I think it's mainly a very great gripping primer. And with a brush I'm going to distribute the L'essentiel foundation. You can actually notice how it spreads a little bit less easily. That just means it grips on very nicely. But I wouldn't recommend this primer when you're using a foundation that is already very thick. Like the Huda one, I think that would just be too much. So that's the foundation applied. I only applied a little bit and I had to spread it out pretty heavily. I'm trying to put less foundation on my forehead so it doesn't become so cakey, and I think with whatever is remaining on the brush after I've done both my cheeks is actually enough. Okay, let's go into the second star of this video, which is the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Concealer. I bought the shade L1, which I believe is the lightest shade. This bottle is very nice and heavy, by the way. I'm just going to correct underneath my eyes. Oh, this is a very nice, smooth formula. You can feel it glide on your skin. And the color seems to be perfect. A little bit yellow perhaps, but that's okay. I'm just going to highlight a little bit. Also a little bit on the forehead. And And let's just see how it works out when you blend it out straight away. So I have my little eyeshadow brush which I use for concealer. And usually I let my concealer sit for a little while. But this one felt so smooth and creamy. I don't think I have to do that. Great coverage. A lot of concealers that I apply just a little bit, you know, to highlight, they blend away. And I don't think I should have let this sit any longer, because then it would have just been too bright. I think I used way too much. I'm going in with my original foundation brush to blend out the edges. So, and now I just have to blend out underneath my eyes with my original brush. I always do that last. Wow, do you see what a difference that makes? It really lifts the eye. Because up until the concealer I was feeling very ugly. I don't know, I'm having a dark under eye circle day, I think. Wow, this concealer is beautiful. It does still feel a little bit tacky. So I think I will have to set it with some powder, but that's okay. I usually do that. So let's go into the powder. I think I want to keep this brightening effect, so I'm going into my Guerlain powder for the highlighted areas of my face, which is this Metéorites pressed powder in a very pale shade. And I usually press this underneath my eyes and on the pores, so this little triangle here. Wow, the combination is flawless. I want to try a different brightening powder because this one is starting to run out and I don't think they make this anymore. So even though I love it, I'll have to resort to something different. I was thinking about the Becca under eye brightening powder, but I have to be quick about that. And for the rest of my face, I think I'm going into my new Maybelline Fit Me matte and poreless powder. I've been really liking this. I usually use my Too Faced translucent, but this is perfect as well. And I find pressed powders to be very convenient. They just get hard pens sometimes. But it's less messy than a loose powder. And for bronzer, I'm going into my new Essence bronzer. These are all things I tried in recent videos, by the way, in case you are curious. And I think I'm going mainly into the upper part, which is a little bit lighter and which is supposed to have a little bit more shimmer, but there's really not too much shimmer. Okay, so I'm looking quite glam for a Friday morning. I guess there really was no other outcome once I started using these Pat McGrath products. But I like it. Okay, let's finish up the eyes. I'm so excited about this. I'm going to take this small pencil brush from Too Faced, clean it up a little bit. I have this now. Why am I still using my hands? Honestly. It's like I want to be dirty all the day. So, I think for the lower lash line, I'm going into Valeria first, which was the lighter matte shade. Yes, that's nice. By the way, I'm getting no creasing from this concealer. It looks very flawless still. I think that's going to be it for the lower lash line. And then to finish everything up, what shall we do? I think I'm going into Iridescent Pink 003, which is the duochrome over there. And I'm going to see if I can put that in the inner corner. Yes, that works out very nice. So I was kind of skeptical about this palette because I knew it was going to be amazing, but I didn't know it was going to be that much better than other palettes I have tried. There's just something about these colors together. I mean, the formula is fantastic, but in the end it's the colors and the structures of the colors that really matter to me. And this just has it all. So I'm going to leave it at that for the eyeshadow. Now I'm going to finish up the eyes using this YSL mascara. I have this nice burgundy shade. I don't know if you can see it. And I like using this for all kinds of rosy toned eyeshadow looks. Of course, were it later in the day, I would add some lashes, but I'm still doing my best to make this early morning appropriate. So I think on camera the bronzer looks a little bit stark. So I'm going in with my powder brush, no additional product. And I'm just going over it to blend it a little bit better. Yes, that looks a lot better. Alright, final things left to go. I'm just going to quickly fill in my eyebrows and I'll be right back. I'm back. My eyebrows are filled in using the ABH Browwiz, and I put them up a little bit using the NYX Control Freak eyebrow gel. So let's finish everything up. I thought we could use a nice pinky blush for this. So I picked out my Aura Pink No. 4 blush from Shiseido. By the way, still no creasing with this concealer. I usually get just tiny lines that aren't even really lines yet. Just like starting to crease with any kind of concealer. It's just from smiling or talking. But really, this is perfect. I'm so happy I purchased it. And then for highlight, I thought I'd keep it relatively low-key and go into my highlighter from the Hourglass Ghost palette, which has a little bit of a pinky shift. And I think it will go really well with the inner corner shade that we used. Were it later in the day, I would probably use that inner corner shade as a highlighter, just to give it a try. But I'll definitely make another video using this. I had just so much fun with it. I can't give it back just yet. And then finally we have a lipstick left to go. I have two options here. I have this Chanel in 46, which is a little bit of a bright pink. And then I rediscovered this, and I think this is what we're going to use. This L'Oreal Color Riche Matte in 640 Erotique, which I believe is a very Pat McGrath shade. I think she released something like this in a liquid lipstick form with her most recent release. So that's what we're going to use. So this is the final look. I feel very glam. I really like this look. I hope you enjoyed it as well. I'll definitely show you more looks using the Divine Rose palette, and even if you're not asking for it, I will deliver. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Please remember to subscribe. Bye!